Hi, this is Jonas from Oslo Pro. In this video I'm going to show you the main street of Oslo, Karl Johan. I am now at Jernbanetorget and that is the central station. Inside of there you will find Visit Oslo, the tourist information. This tower, this building right here is called Trafikanten. And right there is the public transportation information office. They will answer all of your questions regarding how to get around Oslo. And that is the start of Karl Johan walking street. I am now in Karl Johan and this is the first intersecting street. It's called Skippergata. It is considered to be the worst street in Oslo. We're talking prostitution and hard drugs, but why would you want to go down there? It doesn't look like much. I am now at the second intersecting street. It is called Dronningens gate. It means the Queen's Street. And here there is a small shopping center, Arkaden. It consists of mostly youth-oriented shops, and perhaps the most interesting one is the Body Map. They have rock merchandise and goth stuff, so if your favorite color is black, you might head in there. Here there is a Burger King, of course, but I would rather recommend you go to one of the kebab shops up in to the left here in Dronningens gate. This place is called Kirkeristen. This brick building here is called Kirkeristen. That means the church something. There are two kebab shops in Kirkeristen and this one is Carmel grill. I guess it's all right. But this one above is superb. This small kebab joint here, they serve fantastic turkey kebabs, and if you're lucky enough to snag a table, you can enjoy this view while eating. I have now walked to the next intersecting street. On the way I've passed a few clothing stores and a pub of no particular interest. Of course, on top of Kirkeristen is a church. This is where royalty gets married. Hopefully a more interesting fact is that this is the spot where, following the 2011 terror attacks in Oslo, the citizens of Oslo got together and spontaneously created a sea of flowers here in support of the victims. This is a picture I actually took about 5 years ago. A bit further up the street you will be walking past the Moods of Norway super duper store. Moods of Norway is perhaps the most interesting Norwegian clothing brand for normal people like you and me. Down the next intersecting road you will find the only department store that I know of in Norway. If you're into spending some money you might want to go down there. Otherwise they always have the free toilets. Just go in there and press 6 on the elevator. It's on the 6th floor. Next you will be walking past Scotsman. This is a decent pub, but it has a stigma in Oslo which is kind of hard to explain. Let's just say that you might bump into my father in there. I am now at Egertorget, which I consider to be the center of Karl Johan. And that makes it the center of Norway. Here there is yeah, very nice. I agree. There's a bakery and there's a luxury shopping mall, Eger Shopping. There's a restaurant, Tre Brødre. I couldn't tell you if it is good or not because I've never been there. It's only for tourists. There's a Swedish hamburger chain, Max. And down there, right now down there, if you are into metal and like black clothes and rock and roll, you should head down there because there is some of the most inexpensive, the least expensive beer in Oslo, actually, Rock Inn. It's a very good metal club. At the intersection past Egertorget, the Parliament building will be coming into view. And down that street there will be a few stores like Mulberry, Burberry, Dulberry kind of thing. Instead head up this street, it's called Akersgata. Now there is some construction work going on here, but behind of there is one of Oslo's only remaining record stores. It's called Rock og Roll and it deals in vinyl. It's really good. Anyway, you should go up Akersgata a few hundred meters because in Akersgata you will find the former government building which was destroyed by a car bomb during the 2011 terror attacks which left 77 people dead and several hundred injured, most of them children. Inside there is a museum, a small but moving exhibition about the stories of the victims, and you can also see remains of the rooms that were destroyed during the blast and what's left of the bomb car. And it's free to enter for the public. I am now back in Karl Johan in front of the Parliament building. And now to a less sinister fact. This place in front of the Parliament building is locally known as Slottet, which means the toilet lid, because there used to be an underground public toilet here, which has since been replaced by this cafe. Also in Karl Johan, opposite of the Parliament building, is Grand Hotel. This is the oldest, nicest hotel in town, and it was here Barack Obama stayed when he accepted the Nobel Peace Prize. He actually stood on the balcony over there when he greeted the crowds that were forming outside. I tried to be here, but I couldn't get around the corner over there. There were simply too many people here. Past the next intersection is a series of restaurants. To the right of me is TGI Fridays, and to the left is Egon, a Norwegian chain which is kind of like Fridays. A friend of mine described it really good. He said it's like McDonald's for grown-ups. It's not great, but you know what you're gonna get. Next to Egon is a halfway luxury kind of shopping center which has recently been refurbished. Again, free toilets. The park across the street, and especially this fountain, is known as Skippergata, which means the nail soup. The name was coined a long time ago after a nail factory financed the renovation of the site. Amazing what you can get out of Wikipedia. If you need to get your Hard Rock Cafe Oslo t-shirt, it's at the next intersection. But there's an even better rock club around the corner. This is Last Train in Universitetsgaten. Legendary rock joint, this one. Also in Universitetsgaten, but below Karl Johan, is the National Theatre. And at the end of the Universitetsgaten street is the City Hall. A bit further down Karl Johan, you will be walking past the University Place. These are the oldest parts of the University of Oslo, and it currently houses the Faculty of Law. Most of the university is, however, located up at Blindern. I also made a video guide to Blindern, and I'll leave a link to it about here. If you manage to walk the entire length of Karl Johan, you would eventually end up at this house right here. That happens to be the Royal Palace. It is possible to enter the Royal Palace. You just have to go to the back. And show up here, where there would normally be a queue if this had been within the opening hours 11 to 5 p.m. and you would have to pay 135 kroners. There are plenty of things to do around the castle for free, like enjoying the park, and then there are exhibitions like this one. This is a traditional Norwegian cabin which has been put in place in honor of the King and Queen's 25th anniversary, and you can also enter them. Check it out. This is a traditional Norwegian cabin, and would you believe it? The Queen has actually lent some of her stuff out, so they are the labeled items here are actually clothes that belongs to the Queen. If Karl Johans gate wasn't enough for you, you could go to the northern corner of this park, where another shopping street just as long starts. It's called Bogstadveien, and I already made a video guide to it. I'll leave the link right here. On that bombshell, this episode of Oslo Pro comes to an end.